Markets have reacted to what is a better than expected employment number. 222,000 jobs created in the month of June, Dagen, and both May and April revised upward.
This is business optimism. These are companies that are willing to go out there and hire people. Wages are clearly what we want to see growing. 2.5% year-over-year growth is a disappointment. But we don't need to tell the American people that. They know that. But this is job growth in spite of the fact that lawmakers in Washington cannot move ahead with Donald Trump's pro-growth agenda.
Yeah, it's true. And the wage number not being called inflationary at all, Kevin Kelly.
No, and that's the important part. We focus on wages so much because it leads to healthy inflation, right? It leads to that core number that the Fed looks at, the PCE, the personal consumption expenditures. And when we don't get that, we get more volatility. So we want a healthy inflation number, and we're just not getting that. And I think you're starting to see that. One of the reasons why the market was actually up pretty significantly for the first half of the year is because the dollar was down.
Right.
Now, if our economy was doing so well...
And that's helped profits as well.
That's helped profits. Yeah. So these are all going to be playing in. But I think the Fed is going to unwind their balance sheet quicker now. They've been given the go. And so, you know, we'll have to see how that's going to impact jobs in the second half of this year, as well as the market.
Yeah. And we have to remember that the wage number that we're looking at in this report is just the hourly worker. So it's not wages all across the board. We're really looking at just, you know, hourly wages, which still I would expect that number would move up more. But we see, you know, wages from my company, we're seeing employers really starting to move the needle.
What's it going to take for them to move wages up?
Well, I think right now it's getting more competitive because we're almost at a point, right, where you're at 4.4% unemployment, that it's going to get extremely competitive for employers to find talent in the marketplace. So they're going to have to start being a little bit more aggressive in recruiting. They'll start paying more, certainly to attract those people. So Alan made the point before about companies focusing on retention and engagement and keeping their people. Yeah. I do believe that will be a big trend because companies are going to want to hold on to their talent. Otherwise, they won't be able to be successful with their strategy.
So for the last several months, so we run a venture capital fund. So we speak to startup businesses and investors across the country. Investors have been a lot more confident in the economy over the course of the last 6 months. When the market was up, when the market pulled back, investors have just been feeling better. Business owners are feeling better about the economy. And I think startups are disrupting our lives, are changing the way we live for the better. We talk Amazon Prime, or isn't necessarily a startup, but technology is changing the way we live. And I think that change is going to continue throughout this country, and it's going to affect construction, manufacturing, retail. It's going to, so I think that we're just still at the beginning of that, and I think there's a ton of jobs out there and a ton of opportunities out there for millennials, yes, but for everyone out there to start a business and be successful and live the American dream.
And we always focus on health care and taxes as if those are the only two things that get changed down in Washington, but there are other things at play. We know taxes hopefully aren't going to go up under this administration, number one, and two, regulations have been falling by the wayside. It is a great deal easier to do business in many of these industries, and that does have a real impact on those businesses' bottom lines and on their hiring.
And small businesses, right? So taking down regulations, it hurts them more because it costs them more.
All right, we'll leave it there. Great panel, everybody.
Great time.
Have a great weekend. Nice to end the week on a really strong note with these jobs numbers. Dagen, McDowell, Mike Murphy, Joanie, Courtney, Kevin Kelly. Always a pleasure.